The deployment of a five-man midfield has been so successful away. This afternoon, Lee Mills partners Tony Naylor in attack with John McCarthy and Steve Guppy raiding down the flanks. Martin Foyle has had to drop out through illness. Tony Naylor, with 13 goals, is comfortably Vale's leading scorer in what might be his last season with the club. He's one of several regulars who'll be out of contract come the summer. There's been no question then as to the turning point of Rangers' season. Stuart Houston's acquisition of the Chelsea pair, Gavin Peacock and John Spencer, has proved masterly business. They take their places in an unchanged Rangers side, Spencer having recovered sufficiently from a back problem to resume up front with Haitley, and Peacock supporting them from a midfield that's still without the injured Simon Barker. Alan McDonald has remained a dominant force at the back this season, and of course Vale will have to contend as well with the sorcery of Trevor Sinclair when Rangers attack. Spencer's form really has been a revelation since he arrived at Loftus Road. Not just his goals, his all-round contribution has been so impressive. And alongside him, well, Mark Haitley, 35 now, is at last winning over the Rangers fans who until recently had jeered his every touch. Today's referee is Richard Poulain from Huddersfield. Only 3 league wins at home so far for Port Vale. It's a record they're certainly anxious to improve on as they step up their challenge. But Rangers come here with 5 away successes already to their credit. Indeed, their overall form really has picked up. With defeat at West Brom 3 weeks back, their only setback in the last 7 league games. They've won the other 6. Rangers then in their all-red strip, getting us underway, attacking the goal to our right. And this is the young Irishman, Mark Graham. Tony Roberts keeping goal for Rangers. He's keeping out Jürgen Sommer, the American. Tack card, threading it through for Vale. And the flag is up for offside. Alongside me then today is Jimmy Greaves. Jim, how do you see this one shaping up?
Well, both sides are in contention for playoff places at the moment. There's still a long way to go. We know that Queen's Park Rangers are on a roll with new acquisitions. Vale, you can never underestimate, as we've all done at our cost from time to time, Pete.
First test for Gareth Griffiths against Mark Haitley. That's going to be a fascinating contest between the two. Griffiths, a towering defender for Vale, who's having an outstanding season.
I think the pitch looks absolutely superb. There's no wind. There's none at all, really, and the pitch is nice and skiddy, so we should see some good attacking play.
Won by Jensen, the Swede. This is Alan McDonald. 16 years a servant now to Queen's Park Rangers. What marvellous service he has given down the years. And a throw to Port Vale. Guppy leaving it for Tankard, who scored at Grimsby last week, his first goal for 2 years. Naylor laid off to Janssen. Mills. Then McCarthy. Tackled by Brevitt right on the edge of the box. And that was dangerously close to being a penalty.
Actually, it wasn't a bad tackle. It was just a wee bit too late, and he was lucky to get away with that, wasn't he? Very lucky.
Well, he just made contact with the ball first, but it was a tight decision, certainly.
He certainly took the player, though, and I think it was the lateness of it that did it.
So an early opportunity here for Port Vale. Porter is there, and Guppy, and Janssen. And this is Janssen, all straight at the wall. Dean Glover, the former Aston Villa defender. Now Andy Hill. This is his first start today since the end of November. He's been out with an ankle problem. McCarthy. He certainly plays a threat down that right side for Vale. Hill is the target through the middle, but he's adjusted to be the offender there. That's Carl Reddy, who partners McDonald in the centre of Rangers' back line.
Yeah, Mills was nudging into Reddy there, no question about that.
Griffith with Haitley, and that'll be a free kick to Vale. He's actually struggling with a knee problem at the moment, Griffiths, and actually looks in trouble already. He had been a doubt before the game. John Rudge, I know, very anxious to include him this afternoon. He is so important to Port Vale's defensive strategy.
It's always a problem when you've got a niggle and in the first few minutes of the game you actually aggravate it. It's very annoying. You hope to carry it for a while.
And he's looking uncomfortable, I have to say, at the moment. That was Brevitt. Here is Griffiths. Yeah, he's holding his knee again. He's clearly in some distress. Andy Hill. Off goes Porter, up goes the flag.
Yeah, it's worrying him, isn't it? He fell a bit awkwardly, twisted it.
Well, the only defender on the bench is Jermaine Holwyn. A lad they've brought over from Holland. He was an amateur with Ajax, and he hasn't featured in the first team as yet. But they've got 1 or 2 injury problems. And of course, with their resources, they are fully stretched. Peacock's pass, seized on here by Mark Graham. Now Sinclair. Played it for Peacock, and he was clattered by Porter, who was wearing the captain's armband in the absence of Neil Aspin. Spencer. Now Sinclair. Here's Tackard for Vale. Porter put under pressure by Mark Haitley. He's keeping De Keogh out of the team at the moment. Haitley, De Keogh, who's among the Rangers subs today. This is Glover. Mills setting off through the middle, policed by Brevitt. And in the end, a fairly comfortable save for Tony Roberts.
Good ball by Glover, that, though, because it was a very good run by Mills, and it nearly made it. It was good vision.
Away by Griffiths. This is Paul Murray. Now McDonald to Calready. Rangers have failed to score only once in their last 13 games. They really have hit a rich vein of form. This is Sinclair now, trying to weave his brand of magic. Away by Janssen for Mills. And McDonald tidying up at the back for Rangers. They certainly have some solidity back there, Rangers, with McDonald ready. It's been a very profitable partnership for them this season. Up by Spencer to Murray. Murray turned well, good save. Musselwhite got down exceptionally well there to palm it away. Paul Murray with a shot.
It was a good tee up, wasn't it, by Murray, and an excellent save by Musselwhite. Getting down, excellent.
Brazier will take the corner. Looking for the height of Reddy and, of course, Haitley. McDonald, who's come up as well. And it's a routine catch for Paul Musselwhite. So I think they're going to have to make a substitution. Gareth Griffiths is going to have to go off. That's a really sad blow for Port Vale. John Runch down on the sidelines now to organise the manoeuvre.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? You take a chance on a player, he might be 60-40, 70-30 fit, and within the first couple of minutes he does himself. There's nothing you can do about that. Another day he gets through it okay. It's just unfortunate for Vale.
So here's an opportunity for Jermaine Holwyn, who's 23. As I was saying, he came up through the junior ranks as an amateur with Ajax. And when he first came to Port Vale, he got injured after just 10 minutes of his first friendly appearance, so he was out for a long time. And has only really come back into the picture this season. So it's going to be quite a test for him against the likes of Spencer and Haitley. Andy Hill has gone into the centre alongside Glover. And Holwyn is slotted in at right back. Here's Andy Hill, who, remember himself, is only just back from injury. Spencer. Up by Porter to Guppy. Sinclair with a neat touch then to release Mark Graham. And then Guppy blocking his path. Upper, who's come into the side this season, didn't feature under Ray Wilkins, but Stuart Houston too put him in the team. Ready. Made by Tackard. Mills snapping in with the tackle. Now it's Steve Guppy. to Sinclair. They play some tidy football, Rangers. I saw them a few weeks back at West Brom. They were very unlucky to lose 4-1, that was for sure. Look forward by Janssen. Janssen, whose loan spell, he's on a 3-month period with the club, ends at the end of this month, and I think he will be heading back to Sweden. He's a former Swedish international and has proved a very useful signing by John Rudge. Done a decent job here. Tankard. Mills. A good block then by Reddy. Here's Sinclair on for Haitley, who I noticed was cheered by the Rangers fans when he came out beforehand, so they've changed their tune a bit there, Jim.
Well, we all know what fans are. 1 week you're the king and the next you're the devil.
I'm sure he took it all in his stride, but he was getting some fearful stick. But he came on and scored a late equaliser in the FA Cup tie against Huddersfield.
Well, he's a man of vast experience, and he's played under many managers and various crowds, so he'll know what it's all about.
Here's Spencer. Can't wriggle his way through, though. McDonald. The Glover looked to be nudged then by Spencer, but referee Poulet sensibly allowed the advantage with Musselwhite in possession. Vale with just 1 defeat in their last 7 in the league. So they've put a useful run together.
Yeah, this is it with Vale. They're always difficult to beat, aren't they? You can never come here with any guarantees. You look at Queen's Park Rangers' side at the moment and you think, well, they've got something, but it's not going to be easy for them today.
Vale, of course, seeking the double over Rangers, having beaten them 2-1 at Loftus Road earlier in the season. This is Andy Hill, managing to shake off Murray, who's got the closest to a goal so far. That was Brazier's header. McDonald hit so firmly. The time here for Holwyn to tidy up with the back pass. John Rudge contemplated putting Dean Stokes, a defender, on the bench today, but felt he had to have someone as cover for the front players. So he decided on Ian Bogey and Wayne Corton, who can play out wide. And Holwyn here then, who is on now in place of Gareth Griffiths. Brevitt. Poor clearance, so straight to Naylor. And now McCarthy. Mills in the middle, so is Guppy and Naylor. And it bounced fortuitously then for Carl Reddy, almost struck his arm. Here's Sinclair on the break for Rangers. Spencer. And that was a well-timed tackle by Glover, and indeed it's a Vale throw.
That was a good move by Vale a few seconds earlier, wasn't it? The ball just hit the deck and skidded off, but that was a real opportunity for them.
Just a fraction too wide, really, for McCarthy. Otherwise, it certainly would have been a shooting opportunity. Here's Spencer now for Rangers, linking well with Haitley. Brazier. Haitley to make his challenge. And good claim by Musselwhite. He's been preferred in goal now since winning his first team place back in October from Ariane van Hoosden. Tankard. Hitting the early ball, dealt with though by Reddy. Janssen. Here's Steve Guppy. A chance to show his pace here against Graham. Dangerous ball in, but too close to Tony Roberts.
Not a bad effort. I think Val's plan of attack is to hit the long ball through to Mills and then link up from him once they get the ball up there, rather than play it through the middle, where Queen's Park Rangers have the strength, really.
Sinclair taking on Janssen, who looked to have pulled him down. Trevor Sinclair, whose future with the club had seemed in doubt, of course, back at the beginning of the season after Rangers were relegated, but he's now pledged his future to them. It seems to be very much part of the scene again. Peacock with the free kick. Headed out by Hill. Here's Sinclair. Such a dangerous player on his day, Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, he's never reached his full potential, I feel. At one stage, I thought he was going to be really outstanding Premier League player. He hasn't quite made it, has he?
Here's Spencer. Oh, almost a chance in for Haitley. Guppy on for Mills, and he was tumbled down by the tackle from Murray. Paul Murray, young man they signed from Carlisle at the back end of last season. They've got Simon Barker out injured at the moment, but he's doing well in midfield. They mistimed his tackle there on Mills.
Yes, he did. It just was a mistiming, wasn't it?
Glover's free kick. Flicked on by Mills. Naylor almost profited from it. Haitley. All worked on by Guppy. Reddy there was very tight on Naylor. Here's Rufus Brevitt. Wide to Brazier. He's made a niche for himself down that left side for Rangers this season. Now Brevitt. Rangers with 4 away defeats, those 5 wins. And they have certainly been one of the form teams in the division.
Looks like one of those games at the moment where it's going to be very difficult to break down either defence, doesn't it? Nobody's really made a clear-cut opening yet.
Peacock trying to create one there for his former Chelsea colleague, John Spencer.
In fact, we've only had the one shot, which was brilliantly saved by Musselwhite there. Not a great deal else has happened, does it?
Just over 15 minutes gone. Oh, well, in fairness to them, had to readjust with the loss of Griffiths.
Well, this is what I'm saying. They're a very difficult side to play against, and they're a hard side to beat. We know that. And they're not going to make it easy to go, are they?
Porter with the free kick to Janssen. Now Hill. Mills endeavouring to shield it, can't really do so there against Peacock. It goes Guppy. Now Peacock can play it away to Haitley. And that was handball surely by Andy Porter. He was telling me beforehand, or confirmed beforehand, Porter, that he will be taking the penalties if they get one, Port Vale. They haven't had a single penalty this season. Stuart Houston and Bruce Rioch, of course, his assistant. Alongside there, a role reversal from their days together at Arsenal. The early signs have been very encouraging for them since they took charge back in September. Mills slipping, but Naylor can take advantage. Here's McCarthy now. Wide of him is Holwyn. His first venture upfield. It's not a bad cross either towards Mills, who's a real threat in the air. McDonald happy just to pump it away. Then Sinclair. Haitley's touch for Spencer. Sinclair. Good anticipation by McCarthy. Here's McCarthy again. Trying to go all the way here, and the shot in the end was a tame one from Naylor. But a promising run there by McCarthy. They do like to raid down the flanks, Port Vale, with McCarthy on the right.
Well, it was a great run by McCarthy, wasn't it? He's taken 4 players on, and unfortunately it was a tame finish by Naylor.
McCarthy, who hasn't scored himself for 14 games now. Vale's Player of the Year after his outstanding first season with the club.
Well, we've always argued that it's worth doing, taking players on, getting the ball and running at defences. Don't see enough of it really these days, I don't think.
Peacock's pass, he has a very creative, inventive mind, Gavin Peacock, and he settles so well with Rangers. He and Spencer may be surplus to Ruud Hullit's requirements, but Rangers are only too pleased to have them among their ranks. Donald easily winning in the air against Tony Naylor. We'll be hoping to pose him more problems on the ground. This is McCarthy now. Holwyn. Glover's clearance. Up top by Naylor. Mills in possession. The referee endeavouring to allow him the advantage, and he couldn't hold it up. Naylor is the man down injured.
Looks like another twisted knee, doesn't it?
He's been suffering with a hamstring problem lately, Tony Naylor. Yes, he certainly fell awkwardly there as he collided with Carl Reddy.
It wasn't a kick at all, it was definitely a twist of either the ankle or the knee.
Looking very sharp this season, Naylor. He's often played as the lone front runner away from home. It's really been between Martin Foyle and Lee Mills for the role alongside him for the home matches here. Mills in today, with Foyle having been taken ill overnight. Brevitt with a strong challenge on McCarthy. Brevitt is Holwyn. He hasn't been unduly extended so far. So John Raj back in his seat at the back of the grandstand there. 17 years he's been with the club now. Very much the heart and soul of Port Vale. He was saying, I read, if I won the lottery, he said I'd probably buy some players for Port Vale. That's the sort of man he is.
Well, he is, old
Then you
John
would as well, Jim, wouldn't you?
Certainly, certainly, no doubt about it. But I like to see where John's sitting, because you can sit up there, you can see the whole game, you can take a detached view of it. I think he's doing the sensible thing.
Naylor, who seems to be okay now. After that minor injury scare earlier.
Actually, I won 50 quid on the lottery the other week. Would
you?
that be enough for a Port Vale player?
Now, what can Vale conjure up here? Andy Hill has advanced, Glover as well. Happy with the kick. McDonald got it away, and then John Spencer. McCarthy. Straight to Graham. Not the best of clearances by him, though. Janssen now. He's overhit his pass in search of Tony Naylor. Played for Sweden's team just before the World Cup of '94, Janssen. Didn't make it into the World Cup party, but nonetheless, a very useful player. And he's been over here really to get match fit again, having had some injuries. It's been a close season, of course, in Sweden. McCarthy with the header. Given away by Janssen to McDonald. Sinclair. A rather tentative touch by him. It's his Tankard. Making one of his typical surges down the left side until he was somewhat crudely sent to the ground. Tankard taking the kick himself.
I think he's got to find Mills with this, hasn't he? And you need a couple of players looking for a run off of Mills if he gets a touch on it.
I think we can say McDonald is marking him rather tightly. Naylor, and then a chance. Oh dear. Janssen way wide.
Yes. Straight into the Queen's Park Rangers fans. I'm not sure whether we'll get this one back.
Janssen
It was
to
a
score.
flick on, and well.
Yes, it would have been a spectacular goal. So saying no, he hasn't yet managed a goal for Vale in his loan spell with the club. His 9th start today. Here's Andy Hill. Peacock. Now Spencer. This is Brevitt to Peacock again. Just asking a bit too much though of Sinclair. Here's Guppy. Turn back into Murray. Now Murray with a chance to drive for goal. Well, a smart save by Musselwhite. That's twice he's been bearing down on goal. Hasn't managed to beat Musselwhite.
Well, it's true, actually. Murray's looked the man most likely. Again, another shot along the deck. Musselwhite covered it well. But he's looked the man looks as though he's willing to have a shot, and he's got them on target.
McCarthy now. Teasing Brevitt, still McCarthy. They've got 4 in the middle. Couldn't find Wills on the near post. But again, they're the menace of McCarthy down that right side for Port Vale.
Yeah, it's good to see, isn't it? Because every time he's taken players on, he's beat them and created problems.
Hasn't made quite the impact this season that he made in his first, but nonetheless, he's a very dangerous player. He has caught the eye, we gather, of Leicester City, along with Steve Guppy. Janssen has gone across to supervise the corner. Olwyn has gone up. Mills in there too. And Dean Glover. And there is Glover.
Good goal.
They'll have the lead.
It's a good goal. It was a lovely flick, wasn't it?
Dean Glover with his first goal of the season on 24 minutes to steer Port Vale in front. The marking was careless from Queen's Park Rangers, and they have been punished for it.
I was just about to say that, Peter, actually. The marking was very, very bad. If I was Stuart Houston, I wouldn't be happy with this, but nevertheless, it was an extremely well-taken flick, wasn't it? Just edged it beautifully. A lovely little nudge.
His first goal since August '95. And a real fillip for Port Vale. They've had the early blow of losing one of their key defenders in Gareth Griffiths, but they've readjusted, they've got into their rhythm, and now they have the lead. Good play then by Holwood. He doesn't seem to be unnerved by his appearance here. Peacock getting the better of Porter. Haitley. Spencer. It's a careless pass though. Now Tankard. Glover, the goal scorer, to Guppy. Well, he'll be delighted with that, John Rudge. Dean Glover, a player I know he rates very highly, and he's come back into the side this season to play alongside Gareth Griffiths when Aspin was out injured.
Yes, it was a nicely taken goal, you have to say that. But having said that, if you were Queen's Park Rangers, you wouldn't be happy with the defence there, would you? Stevie Guppy.
Looking over his cross, but it's behind for the goal kick.
He certainly, that wasn't a particularly good cross by Steve Guppy, but if he gets it on that old left peg, he wraps his leg round it, doesn't he? Certainly gets the ball across.
So problems for Queen's Park Rangers. Stuart Houston, who I know has been very pleased with the way that they have been playing generally in the last few games. Of course, they returned from Huddersfield with a cup win in the week. Took him a little while to get things going when he first arrived at Loftus Road. Don't think they won in his first 7 games. And then once Peacock had arrived and Spencer, things started to happen for them. They're behind in this game, thanks to the goal from Dean Glover. Here's Sinclair. Haitley in the middle, Haitley's header! He drifted beyond Andy Hill, who rather lost it in flight. And again, it's Musselwhite to the rescue for Port Vale.
Yes, you'd actually have backed Mark Haitley to have scored here, wouldn't you, really? It's a great cross in, and Haitley's lost his defender beautifully. And really, he's hit it straight at Musselwhite, hasn't he? Haitley's going to be disappointed with that. He's going to be really upset with that. If it was on his foot, yeah, but on his head, he's usually a bit more accurate than that, isn't he?
Yes, that's been his trademark header, hasn't it, really, down the years? That
well, it has, hasn't it? It has, and you'd back him on a cross like that, coming in like that, totally unmarked, in front of goal. 9 times out of 10, he would have scored there.
Murray. Is ready. Haitley had shown for him, but good policing by Dean Glover. 33 now, Glover. Came, of course, from Middlesbrough after good service to Aston Villa. Graham. Now Spencer. Graham with the throw. Here's Spencer. Vale have kept him relatively quiet so far. Good play by Porter.
Yeah, they have actually. I don't know why the Rangers lads are arguing. The ball was kept in play. They'll be disappointed, Queen's Park Rangers. They manufactured a magnificent opportunity there. Could have got themselves back into this game, and now they've got to start from scratch again, haven't they?
Sinclair. Spencer. And whacked away by Andy Porter, Vale's captain. He's so important to them in the midfield with his battling qualities. Now here's the pace of McCarthy.
Here we go.
Naylor to his right. Tony Naylor with a great chance. And he squandered it. He upset the pigeon there, but not the goalkeeper. It's an incisive break then by Port Vale, which really deserved better reward.
It was a super break. They'd pulled Queen's Park Rangers towards them, and really the finish might have been better than that, mightn't it? As you say, the pigeon got quite upset there.
Well run by Haitley. Likewise Glover for Vale. Peacock. Now Mark Graham. Seen the run through the middle then of Murray.
Good run.
So too though of Porter. Good defending then by Andy Porter.
It was actually. That was a good run by Murray. Good defending by Porter. Good football all round that.
By Nobby Styles, John Rudge calls him. He's been around so long, he's like a son to me, he says. Over a decade now, Andy Porter at the club. Grazier's corner. Only partially cleared by Mills. This is Murray. Haitley's header. Sinclair. And he was pushing. Illegal use of the arms end by Trevor Sinclair.
Well, Sinclair goes in for this all wrong anyway. I mean, you're not going to score a goal with your back to the goal, are you? And you can see he turns his back straight into the player.
Ready with the header. On by Murray. Decisive defending there by Glover. But Naylor making no impression at the other end. Here's Glover again. A miscue, and Spencer offside. I think they're going to reprimand for that.
Could be a possible booking, this, but maybe just a talking to. Yeah, that's fair enough, isn't it? It's been a good game. There's not been any needle, no niggle. Referees refereed it well so far. Mr. Richard Poulain.
Tankard. Ready, right through the back then of Lee Mills. Former Derby and Wolves striker. Ready with Naylor. Now, can Guppy get away from Graham? No, the young defender slipped in well then. On his first Northern Ireland cap recently, Mark Graham. Guppy. Sinclair. That was neatly done. Graham. Murray spreading the play. To find Brevitt. But certainly Vale have not allowed Rangers to slip into any cohesive style so far.
No, they haven't. They've closed the player down who's got the ball, or they've anticipated one or two passes like we saw there to Brevitt. The Port Vale lads were in quickly on it, and he was forced to play it back to the goalkeeper. They're closing Queen's Park Rangers down very effectively at the moment.
John Rudge went to watch the Rangers at Huddersfield in the week, and he's clearly done his homework.
Well, that's true. I mean, it's true of any team. If you give them room and time to play, any team can look good. The tighter you make it for them, the harder it is, obviously.
Glover was determined to get to that one before Haitley. There's McCarthy. Cut out by Reddy. Now Murray. Graham. Haitley wants it further forward. There's Hateley now, angling his header towards, but not really close to John Spencer. A curious clearance sent by Musselwhite, but he certainly rescued his team early on with some excellent goalkeeping. Contract dispute with the club earlier in the season. That's behind him now.
It's all commonplace now, isn't it, contract disputes?
Didn't you have any in your day then? You must have done.
No, we signed and was told that you had to play until the day you died. That was it, and you did.
Mills did well back to fight Guppy. Tackle has got forward ahead of him. Still Guppy.
That's a good cross.
Mills at the far post.
That's a great cross.
That's a super header too, from Lee Mills.
It was a super header.
Well, the arguments are raging among the Rangers defenders. They were caught cold there. Mills, who's stolen at the far post. What a classic header.
What a great cross, though, isn't it? He's certainly good with that old left peg, is Stevie Guppy. That's a good goal, isn't it? What a beautiful header.
As he got beyond Reddy and beyond Brevitt, who seemed to collide with each other.
Yeah, it was quite a narrow angle that Mills had to head that ball back in. But that's a beautiful cross. You can understand one or two clubs being interested. Steve's been doing that for a while now, hasn't he? But that's a lovely header. Magnificent.
And it's great to see wingers plying their trade in that fashion.
It is. It is. It's a pleasure to watch, isn't it? Because they're doing exactly what you want them to do.
10 minutes of the first half to go. Here's Guppy again. More danger!
Oh, that's
a great stop. And then hit wide, but not that far wide from Porter. It was Mills who arrived on the scene before that. Denied a goal by Tony Roberts.
It's another great cross by Steve Guppy again, isn't it? What a beautiful cross. I don't think the keeper knew much about this, really. But he threw himself the right way, and you have to say it was a great save. Could have been 3, couldn't it?
Excellent wing play by Steve Guppy. I noticed John McCarthy too at the top end of the picture there. He was unmarked, so if it had gone beyond Mills, there was McCarthy waiting.
See, it's what I'm saying about wingers like Guppy. Fullbacks don't really meet a winger that will take them on down the line and get the ball across that often. And his type are few and far between, and if you can get somebody to keep doing that, it creates all sorts of problems.
Wonderful service from Steve Guppy down his left side for Port Vale. And Queen's Park Rangers are in trouble. Well, there's some cool defending. Guppy. Just beyond Porter. But he lunch out there at Peacock.
Oh, that's good tackling. That's great tackling.
Such an impressive character, Porter, and he wins the ball so often. I think you need one of those in every team, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Janssen.
They've got 2 or 3, haven't they? 3 or 4 at the moment.
Here's Spencer. Hold on for Peacock. I think Stuart Houston will want more from his 2 recent signings in the second half.
Well, you have to say, from what we were talking about before the game started, it was all about Queen's Park Rangers, about Peacock and Spencer and how good they are, and they've actually been reduced to quite a mediocre performance this half, haven't they?
Well, Brazier has at least forced a corner. Peacock, anyway, will be looking for the likes of Reddy in the middle. Stuart Houston looking thoroughly dejected at the moment. Here is Peacock's corner. Reddy couldn't climb high enough. Janssen laid off to McCarthy. The wake up Vale on the break. It's been a super first half for them so far.
Hasn't it just?
Remember, they can go above, or will go above Rangers if they beat them today. They've certainly raised a few eyebrows this season, Port Vale. Just underlines what a marvellous job John Lodge is continuing to do for them. With the tackle, and it's a throw to Port Vale. Well, Lee Mills, it's his 6th goal of the season. But he won't benefiting from wonderful service.
He won't get a better one than this, will he? Because it was a really great, narrow angle, a great goal. Had to be accurate with that.
Murray threatening now for Rangers. Brazier. Being held off then by McCarthy, and I think unfairly so. Well, in fact, it's just a throw. Port Vale working very, very hard. But they're playing very skillfully as well. No one more so than this man, Steve Guppy. John Roger, I know, is very anxious to keep Guppy and McCarthy and his other stars, but he might be under a bit of pressure to hold on to Guppy.
Yeah. Well, if I was a manager watching Guppy today, he hasn't wasted a ball, has he?
Olwyn has here. Spetzer.
Got away with it, though.
Yet managed to redeem himself. Andy Hill. Way by Reddy. And McCarthy settling for the throw. Was careless with his distribution then. This is Murray. Oh, Janssen had too much strength for it, just shrugged him aside. Tankard. Good tackling back by Sinclair. Haitley. Sinclair again. 5 minutes for the first half to go. As Hill clears and finds Steve Guppy.
Oh, with 5 minutes to go, I should think Queen's Park Rangers will be looking to half-time more than Port Vale, the way things are going at the moment. They're going to have a chat and sort this lot out, aren't they?
Olwyn. Now Hill. Rangers defenders pushing forward, but Mills had stayed onside, and a lovely little flick through then. Tony Naylor now. Guppy at the far post, if he can find him. Here is Guppy, laid back for Janssen!
Oh, that's
just
great.
sweep it in! 3-0! So flowing football then for Port Vale. And will they have the end product yet again? Janssen with his first goal for the club.
Well, it's just brilliant stuff, isn't it? It's a lovely through ball, wasn't that there? Couldn't quite make it. Good check. Guppy has got 20 yards here, but instead of shooting, which I thought he was going to do, beautifully laid back ball, wasn't it?
Well, you can criticise Rangers again for their untidy defending, but let's give credit here to the attacking side.
You've got to give credit to the attacking side.
Well, who would have thought it? Port Vale 3 up, and we haven't got to half-time yet. Free kick to Queen's Park Rangers, who have some urgent regrouping to do.
And they've been 3 super goals, haven't they?
Well, no wonder he's looking decidedly glum. Stuart Houston. Murray. This is Hill. Guppy again in oceans of space down this left side. Naylor. McCarthy. Well, that was an important challenge then by Brevitt. Rangers torn apart at times here.
They don't know what's happened, do they, really? It's a big test for them now, isn't it?
Guppy involved in all 3 goals. Sinclair. Paul Murray to Graham. Off goes Sinclair. Spencer is in the middle, so is Haitley. Good block though by Dean Glover, who's underlined his quality at both ends of the field.
The old crowd were chanting, "Are you watching Jimmy Greaves then?"
Were they?
Most honoured, Pete. Because I'm watching and you like what you see, didn't you, today?
Two minutes of the first half remaining. Brazier's kick. Janssen trying to stab it away. And eventually Porter can get it away. Guppy. Why did I think you weren't watching then, Jim?
I don't know.
Well, it's nice to know they still remember you. Tankard, Naylor's run. Should be the keepers.
Well, a lot of people, when I arrived here, a lot of people greeted me and shook me by the throat and said, "Welcome to Port Vale."
It's been an enjoyable game so far.
Oh, it's been super. What a performance by Vale.
Graham showing his tenacity, but he's got caught and stranded at times by the work of Guppy down the left, isn't he? Yeah. Murray to Brevitt. Spencer. Brevitt again. Rangers endeavouring to build, but they can't go any further because the flag is up for offside. A couple of scares early on, the Haley chance, but otherwise, really, as an attacking force, Rangers
actually
disappointing, haven't they?
That is the turning point of the half, really, because Vale got a goal from a corner, which is always questionable, but it was well taken. And then they engineered themselves back a little bit, created that great chance, didn't they, Queen's Park Rangers? Haley didn't take it, and they've been on the back foot ever since.
Free kick back to Port Vale. A very satisfying afternoon's work for them so far. McDonald. That's McCarthy. Brazier back defending, helped out by Brevitt. They've made a bit of a mess of it. Here's McCarthy, and Brevitt forced them conceding the corner. And they are finding the two wingers a real handful. McCarthy down the right, Guppy along the left side.
Because both of them are taking players on, and that is always the key to it.
Janssen with this corner. Owen has advanced. Glover on the edge of the 6-yard box. Naylor on the goal line. Oh, it's an own goal!
It's an own goal.
4-0, Brazier.
This may not be Queen's Park Rangers' day. It's an OG, no question about that.
It flashed off the head of Matthew Brazier as it's curled over enticingly by Jan Janssen.
Brazier should have got up a little bit more than that, shouldn't he, and headed it clear, really, but these things happen, you can't blame him.
It's the end of the first 45 minutes, and quite an astonishing first half it has been. Port Vale really have been running riot here. Lee Mills among the scorers. We've seen some very, very impressive wing play, in particular from Steve Guppy, who was involved in the first 3 goals down the left. McCarthy, effective 2 down the right. And Rangers have an awful lot to do if they're to make a game of this in the second half. The half-time score at Vale Park on a damp afternoon, well, it's pretty bright for Vale at the moment. They lead by 4-0.
Times when everybody goes into the dressing room and you know that nothing's got to be said.
Maddox seems to be slotting in at right back. Graham, as I was suggesting in the first half, was getting a bit of a runaround from Steve Guppy. So no surprise that Stuart Houston wants to close down that particular avenue of success for Port Vale. Sinclair's cross. I think Stuart Houston will have impressed upon his players that they have to play for their pride now, Jim. They've got to raise their game considerably.
Well, it's like everything in life, isn't it? You've got to start from the first rung of the ladder, and their immediate target will be to try and score a goal and see how it goes from there. You can't really say, well, come on, lads, we can go out and score 5 this half, but you've got to turn around and say, come on, lads, let's up our game a bit and let's make sure that we put Vale under pressure and try and notch one. And then we'll see how it goes from there.
Port Vale's target, I'm sure, will be the 6 goals they scored against Norwich earlier in the season.
Equally, when I said there's nothing to be said at half-time by John Rudge, I would just say that he's probably just said that. Let's keep the game flowing as well as we can. And
Danny Maddox being told to remove his pearls. Richard Poulain, referee, has has taken them away.
Yes.
Now we can get on with the game.
You don't want a string of pearls all over the place, do you?
Haitley. Good battling by Janssen. Janssen shot, which was deflected. Well, his confidence is really high now. He's been buoyant throughout this game so far, Janssen. His goal has been an obvious lift for him. Sinclair took a whack in the face then, I think, from Tankard. News of a Premier League game. Tottenham are a goal up at the City Ground away to Nottingham Forest. Peacock with the free kick for Queen's Park Rangers. Brazier. McDonald. Here's Murray. Trying to stretch well down Rangers' right side, but they can't do so. Now Guppy. Porter's clearance. Naylor laid it off very tightly indeed. Here's McCarthy now. Away from Brazier. Janssen had made a run to open up some space there for McCarthy, but Brevitt stuck to his task well. Now it's Murray. Slipped on for Haitley. Trying to barge his way through, but he didn't have the pace to get away from Glover. Haitley, of course, had 2 months on loan at Leeds earlier in the season, and I think they were keen to keep him. But Houston wanted him back at Loftus Road. Naylor. More danger developing now with Guppy. Teasing Maddox this time. There's Mills. And Naylor! Naylor again off the line. Was it over the line? The linesman says no.
Well, it looks as though it was a goal, didn't it?
Naylor certainly thought so. An amazing escape then for Queen's Park Rangers. Here comes Vale again. Janssen. Tankard in support. Mills at the far post.
Well, I booked that as a goal. I know we're a long way away, but you normally go from players' reaction, and if you look at their reactions in this, you've got to believe that it was a goal. It'll be interesting to see what develops here, but I booked it as being in, but this is where it happens now. Yes, that looked like a goal to me. Definitely a goal.
Brevitt, who hooked it out, but surely not before it had crossed the line.
Oh, they were lucky to get away with that.
Port Vale have begun the second half as they finish the first. Well, John Rudge was a bit worried beforehand. He had to put out a depleted side with injuries. But he's got it right on the day so far, no question. Brevitt. Played in for Haitley. And he didn't show too much awareness then. They have Daniele Di Chio, remember, on the bench today, Queen's Park Rangers, so we may well see him in this second half. Also Andrew Impey, who's lost his place in the team to Brazier, really. The man who so unluckily put through his own goal just before half-time. McCarthy to Mills. He's playing well, Lee Mills. Wants to take them all on here. Yes, surrounded by defenders.
He's been a constant danger, hasn't he? Look at that tackling back as well.
Don't think he'd have played today if Martin Foyle hadn't been taken ill. Holwyn, who certainly hasn't looked out his manager. Justified his faith in him, giving him his first opportunity today. Coming on as an early substitute for the injured Gareth Griffiths. And maybe this is going to be his breakthrough now. Akeley's header. Away by Guppy. Danny Maddox. Now ready. Here's Brazier. We haven't seen too many of his characteristic surges down the left for Rangers, but here's one now. Akeley in the middle. Field for handball, nothing given. Looks of his currently worries of the world on his shoulders at the moment.
There was agony on his face then, wasn't it?
He was unfortunate with the own goal.
Yeah, it was a good run. Oh no, it hit him straight in the face, didn't it?
Not been his day so far. Matthew Brazier, a young man of much potential. Here's McDonald, Brevitt. McCarthy is down injured at the moment. Brazier trying to release Brevitt, got away then from his man from Holwyn. Didn't fall there for Spencer. McCarthy now on the counter-attack for Port Vale. Mills. He's been a constant source of irritation to Queen's Park Rangers defenders this afternoon. Only a dozen starts before today. He's had to play second fiddle on occasions, certainly to Naylor. Also to Foyle lately.
I think this game suited him because of the way Vale have played. They've played very direct. They've made sure that they've taken it over the midfield, and it suited Mills, isn't it? Because he is an ideal target now.
He's a bustler, isn't he? And he's actually limping at the moment, so he clearly has a problem. Trying to run it off or walk it off at the moment. This is DeKeo, former England #21 striker. Steve Houston, of course, is not Kevin Gallen at the moment. He's a long-term injury. Won't be back this season, I fear. Glover, searching ball for McCarthy. Probably had to be on his toes, though. Against this very direct right winger, John McCarthy. As we were saying in the first half, it really is a joy to see two wingers raiding as they have. Donald's clearance has gone straight to Andy Porter. Who provides the graft alongside the craft of those around him. Presumably, Haley will come off to accommodate the arrival of DeKeo. Haley hasn't started too many games this season. And I think he is going to go off in a moment for DeKeo to come on. Guppy. Now he's being pressurised by Tankard, and that's a corner. He's a bit sloppy there.
That's the difference between the two sides, though, isn't it? I mean, the pressure that Rangers were put under then, they had no time at all, and it's a corner when it shouldn't have been anything other than a goal kick or a comfortable ball for Queen's Park Rangers to collect.
Just a lapse in concentration really from Murray. Rangers kept their composure though to defend the corner. Here's Sinclair. Another man who's really been on the periphery of things. Maddox. Now Sinclair again. Good run there, still Sinclair. Hit it cleanly, but straight at the keeper. Well, that was better then from Rangers and from Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, it's well gathered by Musselwhite.
Hills. Tankard. This is Guppy. Naylor had stayed onside and has now pulled away to the left here. Guppy's kept going. Naylor's pass. Guppy just couldn't latch onto it. Good defending in the end by Danny Maddox. But they are continuing to threaten, continue to caused loads of problems, particularly down the flanks.
Oh yeah, I mean, since Maddox has come on, he's been under pressure. He hasn't had a moment to breathe, has he?
Chipped in by Glover. That was Carl Reddy. Here's Andy Hill. I thought they might have problems defensively, Bill, when they lost Gareth Griffiths, but in fairness, they haven't really been extended too often, certainly not in the air.
But they haven't, and I think mainly it's because, as I say, Vale have been pressurising the midfield and getting to the Queen's Park Rangers lads quicker than they would really like them to.
Here's Sinclair now. Peacock. Support from Brazier. Peacock. Driving for goal, and Spencer was offside. Well, let's take another look now at the goal that was ruled out.
Yeah,
it's crossed the line.
On these things, I usually look at the reaction of players, the first reaction that you get, because usually that's the most honest. It's then they try and con everybody. But I thought this was a goal from up here, and there is no doubt in my mind that that wasn't a goal.
Well, the standing leg is on the line. Still not conclusive totally there.
Well, I think it had to be a goal, Pete. I'd stake my reputation as a Port Vale supporter at this moment in time.
This is your first trip to Vale Park?
This is my first ever trip to Port Vale, and to be honest, I think I'm watching Real Madrid out there.
That's Haitley. Well, it's a bit of a cut down, I suppose, for Haitley from the San Siro to Vale Park. You've been in the San Siro. You're now at Vale Park. You'll be very welcome here.
Yes. Well, I'm having a better game than Haitley, that's for sure.
Sinclair. Well rustling by Janssen.
Well won.
He's been very impressive today this week.
He has.
Now McCarthy. They've got three in the middle, including Mills, to attack with a header! Oh, so close. Well, Rangers will be very unhappy at the space that he's had in around 18 or inside the 18-yard box.
Another beautiful ball played in by McCarthy, wasn't it? And this is why he didn't want half-time to come, because that would have gone in the first half, wouldn't it?
But again, it's the service from the flanks.
Yes, beautiful.
It's been such a feature.
Lovely header.
Maddox. Couldn't combine though with Spencer. Holgren. Fed it on for Janssen. McCarthy. Mills going down under the weight of the challenge from McDonald.
That's a good decision by the referee.
Glover to McCarthy. Now Dicchio is going to come on. I'm not sure it's Haitley who's going to be replaced.
I think there's two of them going to come on, actually.
Yes, Impey is coming on as well, and it will be Haitley going off along with Matthew Brazier. So a double switch made by Stuart Houston. Bruce Rioch directing operations down there in front of him. Bruce Rioch always has the coat, the suit on, and Houston the tracksuit. But Rioch is the assistant, and Houston is the man in charge. Anytime there's an injury, I think it's Alan McDonald.
Yeah, that was that clash he had with Mills, and he just fell awkwardly. You can see what...
Well, it was a full-blooded challenge with Lee Mills, but I didn't think there was any hint of a penalty.
No, there was no penalty decision here to be made. It was just the way they both fell together, and McDonald fell more awkwardly than Mills, and he's obviously stretched his shoulder a bit there.
He's okay though. 33 now, Alan McDonald. And he has been such a stalwart at the back for them this season, but time after time this afternoon, they have been stretched by Port Vale. And some exhilarating wing play. Here's McCarthy. McCarthy. Don't show too much of that to Impey, but here's Porter now to help him out. Peacock. DeKeo. Sinclair. Murray making the run ahead of him. Spencer taking over. And he's seen DeKeo through the middle, but couldn't link up with him.
Another good bit of football by Jensen there.
Guppy. Tankard away to his left here. Now Yatson. Good ball. Tankard. Mills in the middle, so is Naylor.
Yes,
that was a crushing tackle by McDonald.
That was a foul.
Well, they continue to defend nervously, Queen's Park Rangers.
I don't think there was any argument about this one, was there?
No contest, was it really? McDonald against Naylor. There's a few inches between them. A few inches difference. So here is yet another opportunity for Port Vale to enhance their already comfortable position.
Taking their time, I think the referee is entitled to say, come on lads, take this free kick.
Glover hovering over the ball. It's a well-worked kick too. This is Naylor, and it nearly squeezed in. Very, very close.
It was a well-worked free kick, wasn't it? Unusually taken free kick in that position, wasn't it? But Guppy gets it over again.
Yeah, it was a good cross, and Naylor climbed so well too.
He did.
DeKeo. Now Spencer. Well, I have to say, it's been disappointing this afternoon, John Spencer. He himself doesn't feel he's been playing that well, despite all the rave reviews he's been getting. Naylor. No problem this time for Tony Roberts.
A bit ambitious there.
When you're 4 up, you can try from there, Jim.
That's absolutely right, Peter. You can do whatever you want with it.
It's been a terrific afternoon so far for John Rudge's team. Such a contrast to the gloomy faces down on the visitors' bench. Rangers, remember, who'd won 6 of their last 7 in the league. But they took a pounding in the end, certainly in terms of the scoreline, 4-1 at West Brom in their one defeat. And I have to say, that was a much closer game than this one. Almost at the halfway stage in the second half. Sinclair's cross. No.
Oh dear, oh dear.
It's an own goal from Holwyn. On his debut for the team.
Bit of hesitancy here actually from Musselwhite, because I felt that it was his ball, and I think Holwyn probably did.
He's lost his bearings there for a moment.
He did. But Musselwhite started to come for it and then checked, and that was the result.
Yeah, maybe as a senior figure there, the goalkeeper should have taken charge.
I would have felt that it was the goalkeeper's ball.
Well, can't really call it a lifeline, but at least they've got a consolation.
Well, it's what we said. You've got to start from the first rung, and they're now on it. It's still a long ladder, but at least you're on that first level.
Here's Gavin Peacock. Spencer. Now Danny Maddox. Too long for DeKeo. Holwyn's clearance. I think he was just happy to clear anywhere there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Holwyn reacts to that.
Yeah, he needs to get his confidence back.
He does, he does.
He actually hasn't played badly. Not by any means.
He hasn't.
At the last moment.
He's been caught out once or twice.
And there's the familiar whistle from Stuart Houston. But his team haven't been whistling a very happy tune so far today. At least they've got something out of it now. Here's Sinclair. Guppy. Well, that was excellent work. They have found him so hard to contain, Steve Guppy.
Well, they're not the first team in the country that have discovered Steve Guppy's talents.
Well, Kevin Keegan, of course, took him to Newcastle.
Yeah.
He certainly caught his eye. Didn't really make the breakthrough there. Then under Martin O'Neill at Wickham. And the word is now that Leicester City are very interested in capturing his services. I think John Rogers put a few noughts on the end now.
I think he will after today's performance.
Well, he was
probably a few noughts gone on the team as well, hasn't there?
I don't think he's under any immediate pressure to sell. He hasn't bought anyone for 18 months.
I suppose the pressure comes is if the player is really interested in leaving. That's when pressure comes, isn't it?
Murray to Takio. He's got 6 goals this season, Takio, but not an automatic choice at the moment. This is Spencer, who certainly is. Hill's clearance. Owen just got his foot in there ahead of Andy Impey. McCarthy striding past Brevitt.
That was well run, wasn't it?
Too much pace for him.
Yeah.
Mills now. Porter. Peacock. Now Takio. Sinclair. Ooh. Yes, it was a late challenge there by Tackard. Sinclair is okay though. Jinking past Tackard. Straight into Porter. And he followed through then Sinclair. Porter very unhappy with the challenge as the referee steps between them.
All right, they've sorted it out.
Bit of frustration shown there by Trevor Sinclair, who had just been clattered by Tackard. Andy Hill.
Yeah, I think the referee's just checking on this now. Everyone seems to be having a pop at Porter, but it's all cleared up now. I don't think there's any problems. Everyone's getting on with the game.
Takio. Sinclair much more involved in the second half. He has it all cut too late. Murray. Here's McDonald. His own recent return after a suspension. And he and his fellow defenders have found it hard to cope today with the attacking penetration of Port Vale. 20 minutes to go. McDonald. Here's Murray.
It's a sign of an absorbing game, actually, because it seems to have flown by this match, doesn't it?
Paul Murray. They had those 2 early chances for Rangers. The game turned, as we were saying, really from the wasted opportunity, the header from Haitley, and from there on it's been all Port Vale until this brief revival.
Well, they've scored all 5, haven't they? Well, they've scored 6 actually, but the referee didn't allow one.
Of course, an own goal from Brazier, don't forget.
Oh yeah.
Seems a long time ago now. This is Peacock. Off goes Impey.
So I was right, they scored 5, but the referee's only...
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. Did you? I'm glad you did, because I didn't.
You were getting some stick from the Rangers fans at half-time, weren't you? What was that about? You were doing a presentation out there.
No, I think it was the Port Vale fans.
Oh, was it? Takio. Now Peacock. Here's Sinclair. Tight defending by Tackard. Guppy. Here's Jan Janssen. And he's just gone from strength to strength in this game. Janssen going all the way through. What a goal that would have been.
Would have been, wouldn't it? Because it was a great run, you know. I mean, he was behind Guppy when Guppy got the ball. So he's run 50 yards to get to this position where we're picking him up now. And he's showing considerable skill, isn't he? When's he go back to Sweden?
Well, I think at the end of the month they're going to miss him.
Cancel the boat.
They are definitely going to miss him. This is Murray. Sinclair. Tankard. Just too long for Porter. Certainly against the pace of Danny Maddox, one of the quickest defenders around. Sinclair. Andy Hill. He and Glover have played themselves out of trouble, but at the expense of a throw. King Glover, whose goal set Port Vale on their way to what they hope will be a convincing victory here. Certainly looking that way still.
Yeah, they still look comfortable, Vale, don't they? They've not really broken them down too much, Rangers.
Ulrich's header out. Here's Rufus Brevitt. Now Peacock. Maddox. Sinclair again. Made in for Spencer. He's pulled Hill out of the middle. It's a decent ball for DeKeo to challenge for. Naylor. Mills again playing in such determined fashion, and that'll be a free kick.
The frustration coming into McDonald's game, isn't there?
Tankard. Ready, covering the run of Naylor. Naylor again making a nuisance of himself. This is Porter. That's a fine pass. McCarthy. Tackled by Impey, still McCarthy. And that's his shot. Almost took a nick off Steve Guppy.
Well, he's certainly looked the part today, McCarthy, hasn't he? And he's had a great second half, actually. He's had a better second half than first half. Been dangerous every time he's got the ball.
DeKeo. Glover in ahead of Spencer. Donald, I think it just clashed with Tony Naylor. Naylor holding his head at the moment. In some discomfort. 15 minutes left. He's worked tirelessly up front.
Yes, he has. He copped one across the chin from McDonald. I don't actually think it was intentional. They both started to run at the same time.
Not among the scorers so far, Tony Naylor, although he certainly thought he had one. The goal that was cleared off the line, the one that was disallowed, involving Rufus Brevitt. Tankard. Now backpedaling against Trevor Sinclair. Maddox to DeKeo. Spencer laying it off cleverly there. Sinclair goes empty, that was Holwyn. Now DeKeo didn't really get hold of it. And away cut Vale. Janssen. That was Brevitt. Hill. Confronted by Spencer. And it's Hill who comes out on top. I don't think we've seen the best of John Spencer today. anxious to retain his place in the thinking of Craig Brown, the Scotland manager, of course, despite dropping a division. Certainly his early form would suggest that place was not in jeopardy. Early form at Rangers, but today he's got rather a shadow of his normal self.
Well, I'm sure we haven't seen the best of Queen's Park Rangers, but you can probably put that down to the exceptional play of Port Vale.
Sweeping pass sent from Mills to Guppy. Tankard, maybe unsighted then by the referee. And the counter-attack is on for Rangers. Peacock. Oh, well, that was fine anticipation by Glover. Scorer of the first goal today when he stood in the corner from Janssen. And he's had a fine game at the back too. Nothing to curb the menace of John Spencer. We'll ask you soon to think about your man of the match award, Jim. I think he might be wearing white.
Yes, I do want to get out of here alive. If possible.
The chairman wants you to come back, doesn't he?
He does every week. The chairman's first time I've been here, they've played like this. He said, you're welcome in any time you want. Come for training. But it's going to be very difficult to choose man of the match, actually, because you could give it to 9 out of the 11 Port Vale players, really.
I won't embarrass you by asking who the 2 are you wouldn't give it to. They've certainly played very well as a unit today, haven't they?
They have.
Brevitt. Nothing on there for Sinclair. Thanks to the urgent defending of Andy Hill. Began the game at right back, of course, Hill. And remember, he had been out for some time. The end of November was his last start. They had to switch into the centre when Vale lost Gareth Griffiths so early on. But it didn't prove to be the setback John Rudge might have feared it would be. Here's Janssen, who is certainly a contender for man of the match in my book. Off goes Naylor. Just can't keep it in play. Anyway, you can keep us in suspense a little longer, Jim.
Can I?
Brevitt. On by Dicchio. This is Murray. He's got Maddox wide of him. Some tidy link-up play from Rangers, but nothing at the end of it. With 10 minutes to go, you would think now the points are safely in the bag for Port Vale.
I think Kenny Dalglish probably thought that yesterday at Southampton, so you never can tell in this game, can you? 2 up with 7 minutes to go. It can change so quickly, can't it, football?
Especially with Letizier around. Good work then by Dicchio. Here's Peacock. Rangers have certainly had a better second half.
They have, but they've been well contained by Vale, haven't they? And I don't think they did. I mean, they got the goal. It was an own goal.
That was late then from Andy Hill.
Yes, it was. They got the goal because it was an own goal. They haven't really threatened very much at all. I think Vale have played them quite comfortably this half, although they have been in it more, obviously.
Well, Vale have pulled everybody back here to defend the free kick. Being organised by Peacock, Murray and Maddox there as well. This is Peacock.
Oh, well done.
Did well then the keeper as McDonald followed in.
It was well done by Paul Musselwhite because it wasn't an easy shot to save. It bounces just in front of him. There's an awkward one, this. It bounced up. And he's been very brave there, getting down to that second effort. Well played.
Yes, diving at the feet of Alan McDonald. Another man who has certainly shone for Port Vale today, Paul Musselwhite, with those important early saves. Dicchio threatening here, but to no avail. He'd been a regular for the past 4 years until the start of this season when Van Hoesten was preferred. And he seems to be, and I think rightly so, very much the #1 again. Certainly on today's evidence.
He's always been a steady old keeper, hasn't he?
Rangers have an injury problem. Meantime, Janssen just bobbled unkindly as he hit it then.
Well, obviously, Peter, we're reading from the same book. I think the wingers have been outstanding today for Port Vale. But the man who took grip of the midfield of Queen's Park Rangers and has dominated the game from my point of view is Jan Janssen. It's a pity they can't hold on to him till the end of the season, but he's had a super game today.
Well, he's come over here, as I was mentioning early on, to improve his match fitness. He's certainly done that.
Well, it's difficult to give man of the match when so many players have played well for Port Vale. There's a number of players that you can just say yes under normal circumstances.
Now this is, I think, Alan McDonald. He's been on the wars once or twice this afternoon. And he tackled there with Naylor.
Looked harmless enough, didn't it? He's actually had he's had a rough ride this afternoon, Alan McDonald. He's had one of those afternoons where totally opposite from Janssen, really. Nothing's gone right for him. He's been not tackling as well as he might. He's fallen over 2 or 3 times and has hurt himself, and let's hope that this is not serious.
A man who spent his entire career at Queen's Park Rangers, apart from just a short loan spell across London at Charlton. Stuart Houston assessing the extent of the damage. Stuart Houston, his 9th manager that he's played under. Good header by Dicchio. Sinclair. Murray has made the run. Glover, the covering defender. Still Murray. Support from Sinclair. Now Maddox. Play towards Dicchio. That was Holwyn with an important header out. Impey to strike it back in though.
Well, that was a joyful shot, wasn't it?
And maybe it's not too late. 4-2. Everybody is checking the watch.
Well, we've certainly seen some goals this afternoon, haven't we? And what a cracker this is.
Just 5 minutes left.
What a cracking goal.
Hit with awesome foul hit by Andrew Impey.
Wonderful stuff.
Goal number 2 for him this season. And it's given his team a fresh glimmer of hope. Meantime, Alan McDonald is back on the field. So Rangers back to full strength.
Well, it's as we said, Pete. It just takes a shot at goal to go in, and it changes the complexion of the game just slightly more, doesn't it?
Who needs Letizia?
They're now on the 2nd rung of the ladder.
Glover underneath this one. Straight to Sinclair. The Rangers fans beginning to raise their voices now. Murray. Hills releasing McCarthy. Guppy over on the far side, Naylor in the middle. McDonald was the man in the way. McCarthy again.
Oh, well played.
Yeah, just couldn't pull it back far enough.
Yeah, poor cross. That was probably his worst cross this afternoon.
Spencer. Dicchio. I think he's made a difference since coming on. Yeah, a lot of balls in the air.
He's shown well, hasn't he?
Impey to Sinclair. trying to dance his way through. Might fall for Dicchio here. Murray. Guppy on the break. Well-timed tackle from Murray. Impey. 3 minutes left. Peacock to Dicchio. Well played, Andy Hill. Mills. Good challenge though by McDonald to win possession back for Rangers. Peacock. This is Dicchio. Now Sinclair for Murray. Murray's chip. And it's there. What a finale. 4-3.
Wonderful stuff this, isn't it? We've seen some of the great goals here, haven't we, this afternoon?
Dicchio getting involved there with Holwyn and Glover.
Well, he wants the ball out of the back of the net as quick as possible. What a wonderful goal, this.
Such a delicate chip by Paul Murray.
It's a super goal. We've actually... It's a good ball played out by Dicchio, lovely ball by Sinclair, and that's a chip straight out of any class act you'll ever see.
Ball from Guppy.
We've actually seen some tremendous stuff here this afternoon.
Dicchio. And suddenly Port Vale are a worried team. Who would have thought it at half-time? McCarthy. Taking on Brevitt and Impey. Naylor. No, McDonald with a foot in. Here's Peacock. Sinclair. Play on. It's the referee's decision. It's Guppy with Tankard. Janssen. Gentle clearance by Reading. Gifting possession back to Port Vale. Porter. Holwyn. John Rudge down on the touchline is off his seat now, urging his team to hold on or maybe clinch it. Janssen going through. Just couldn't finish it off.
Lovely move, wasn't it? It's great football right to the end, this, isn't it?
Dicchio chasing now with Glover. He has to settle for the throw.
Well, I think I might book my holidays in Port Vale, you know.
Holwyn. Now it's Impey. Port Vale on the back foot again. Peacock. Wide to Maddox.
Well, they must believe that they can get another one now.
Peacock nudged off to Reddy. Here's Danny Maddox. Vale have got everybody back. McDonald pumping it hopefully forward. Dicchio can't get on the end of it, but the free kick has been given.
Well, this is going to be the final chance of the match, and it's fallen to Queen's Park Rangers. We're into stoppage time. One would think that this is the last throw of the dice.
What a roller coaster ride this has been.
Actually, the way Dicchio hits the ball as well, this could be interesting, couldn't it? If he takes it.
Spencer has wanted across as well. Sinclair is there. Impey showing no interest, but here is Daniele Dicchio. Shot was blocked by Porter.
It's well charged down by Porter, who's quick out of the blocks there.
Sinclair to Impey. Dicchio! Great stop! It's there though from Spencer!
Can you believe it?
Absolutely amazing. It's 4-4. John Spencer. By his very high standards, he's had a quiet afternoon, but he was the man in the right place here.
Good cross by Impey. Good header by Dicchio. A great save, a great save. Just the save that you would want at the last throw, and there's Spencer. You have to say, we've been covering a few Ensley were nationwide and games, and I've never seen one as good as this.
Well, this has to go down as one of the most remarkable comebacks for a long time.
It's certainly the best game I've ever covered since we've been covering the First Division. It's been a wonderful game. Credit
4-0 down.
Yeah, credit to both sides.
And they've got it back to 4-4.
It's amazing. See, you mentioned Kenny Dalglish, and suddenly Queen's Park Rangers get 3 goals.
What was John Rudge saying at half-time? I just hope we don't let it slip. He will be absolutely furious. Stuart Houston, well, he made a double substitution. But the game seemed over. There really seemed no way back.
The game's never over until the referee.
We're deep into stoppage time. And all credit to Rangers for the character they've shown in clawing their way back. It seemed a hopeless cause. When that fourth one went in just before half-time, we looked at each other, Jim, and said, that's it, it's over now. But as you would say, it just shows what a funny old game football could be.
It certainly does. It just shows you as well that they might have been 5 up, Port Vale. It didn't seem to matter at the time, did it? What a great game of football.
Forward by Tacker. Here's McDonald. We wrote Queen's Park Rangers off too soon. Porter to Guppy. Maybe Vale hadn't finished yet. That's Naylor! Just couldn't get any power in the shot. 3 minutes now into injury time. Referee Poulain has looked at his watch. It's almost over. McCarthy. In goes Peacock. The final whistle to signal the end of that dramatic comeback by Queen's Park Rangers. 4-0 down at half-time. They have fought back to earn a point from a 4-4 draw. Well, here's the goal that clinched that revival.
It's a cross by Impey. It's super quick. Great header by Decchio. Super save. Bit unjust, maybe, maybe not. Spencer won't think so.
Well, it really was an amazing game of football. So much drama, so much incident. 8 goals, goals disallowed. And that is the final score at Vale Park. It's Port Vale 4, Queen's Park Rangers 4.